We return on a lovely, murky Saturday afternoon. I've got a cup of coffee, and we're going to continue along, see what we got. I also kind of need to remember what position we were in. So, all you can eat had been fully colonized. That was pretty good. We've got Sirius Prime, which I didn't actually name. I mean, I did such a horrendous job naming the ocean world. I'm sure that this continental one wouldn't fare much better. We could call this one Earth 2. Let's call it Earth. No, let's call it Nova Earth. I usually do stuff like that when I want to act creative, but I'm not actually being creative. And then we've got Procyon Prime as well, which is kind of an uninteresting planet. I mean, not really. This is quite an interesting planet in that, I mean, for gameplay purposes, I don't know how useful it is to us, but it is an enormous amount of space for cities here, which is kind of wild, considering that, you know, it's just small separated islands. I'm thinking of these, you know, massive megalopolises surrounded by water, you know, just dotted all over the place. So maybe we can do something like that. In case you were wondering, the idea of having actually underwater alien species that end up becoming spacefaring civilizations, that is actually something that you can't really do in this game. I think the devs might eventually do it. What they do is every now and then they release species packs. One of the most recent ones was the Lithoid species pack I alluded to before. And they sometimes have actual gameplay changes as well. So like the Lithoids don't eat food, they eat minerals, I think it is. And when you kill them, they produce minerals. There are certain kinds of empires that can eat other aliens, just by the way. And if you eat a lithoid, you actually get minerals out of it and stuff. Anyway, they do these species packs. Maybe one day they'll do like an underwater one. But the devs have always kind of said that they think it's a bit weird, the idea of having like a dolphin species that what are they doing? They're filling their spaceships with water? I mean, the engineering challenge in that apparently is too, like, you know, difficult to think about. I'm not entirely sure. In any case, so what have we got? Well, over at Earth, we're doing pretty good. We've almost got 30 full pops, which is a hell of a lot of people. We'll get another building at that point. So that's good. What else do I need to keep track of? Well, we did just have a scientist die, didn't we? And we kind of need to replace them. So how about we go to the Bernard Star shipyard? This is the new shipyard that's, you know, in orbit of our second planet here that's over there. And what we can do is we can build a replacement science vessel. That is going to cost us some alloys, but that's okay. And then what I'll do is this fleet over here as well, that's like at dry dock or whatever, we'll upgrade these guys. And back at the starport again, I will... Oh, well, now we can't buy corvettes because the upgrades cost alloys. I feel like the upgrading process is too expensive. There's something about this game where the balance is slightly off nowadays. I already mentioned it, but the idea that you used to be able to fight a good amount really early, and now you're getting all these upgrades and tearing your ships up, and it feels like, man, I want to use them before I just end up spending more alloys upgrading them again. Maybe it's just me playing it badly, to be honest. And the idea is I should actually chill out a bit and wait until I'm actually in danger. But yeah, so we still have two fleets. That's good. One of them is much weaker than the other one, so we'll have to be careful. But I think these guys are stationed forward, so we'll move those later. This guy is going to collect this new system, the Neshmet system, with the absurd relic world there. And we'll put this new scientist that we're hiring over to do that archaeology. Now, I feel really bad about this. This kind of sucked, this Tianki matriarch. And this kind of sucked, you know, like... realizing these guys were here, it's pretty dangerous. This construction ship was just giving us some physics research, if I remember rightly. Yeah, it looks like they were, so that's all good. I guess we'll just keep progressing and claiming territory as we can, so we'll get all of those mining stations all at once. A lot of our currencies are struggling, but we are at least all right for minerals, energy, and food. It's just converting them into alloys, which is proving to take some time.
Anomalous readings registered.
Now, once all you can eat... Oh, there you go. They just got a new population. Okay, our edicts have just ended. We'll deal with that in a second. So, yeah, they now have 6 pops, so we get a building. We can actually construct something here. But we don't have the populations to like, fill those jobs out. And we just put them on food straight away, didn't we? We built a second agriculture district. That's probably a bad idea. Let's preemptively build a building for anyone new who's rising up on the planet. And let's get another alloy foundry. So basically, the alloy foundry that we build here doesn't need to take minerals from these specific mines. They can ship it from the other solar systems. It's not a problem. We can have alloy foundries here, and, you know, our just private enterprises will maneuver all the stuff as they need to. But I feel like it's a bad idea, and what I really want to do is get... Oh, I think we're actually in the middle of the research, aren't we? For, I think, yeah, these food processing facilities in 32 months. Maybe in 32 months, we'll have another building. Or we can do something that would give us another building. So screw it. We want alloys. We want to build our fleets as much as possible. Now, these edicts that ran out, we could pay to get them back, particularly the healthcare campaigns. And I'm going to do that. You'll notice they've become a little bit more expensive now because of this thing called Empire Sprawl, which we can look at in a second. We've got an okay amount of influence. So we could refresh the map, the stars, if we wanted the survey speed. So I think I'll do that. But aside from that, I'm going to be a little bit cautious with our influence now because I feel like we're going to want a lot of that stuff to keep claiming new space. All right, so here's our new science vessel. Let's hire a new scientist. It's going to cost us about 200. This guy's got a spark of genius, but that would mean that Wenzu, she is better in an actual, at the head of a department, not necessarily on a science ship. Research speed won't help us if she's just out exploring anomalies and surveying and so on. This person will live longer. It doesn't quite matter if I'm going to get them killed. This person, we would be, you know, versatile enough. If we started onto research propulsion stuff, we could swap and change a bit like we did before here with Anaya. Let's just get Christian here, Antonelli. And he's very poor at his job. But what we'll do is we will take him over to the relic world. And we've almost claimed this space as our own. And once we've got it as our own, we can set up some architecture over there. And we can get archaeologists working out of the, you know, the mobile lab on this science ship. And with the safety of the local starbase, we can actually get things going. So, that's good. Now, let's move on to seeing how these guys are doing. There's a lot of resources here. This was a good move to make this land grab. This was definitely a good move. What I'll do is I'll fill in this next as well with this construction ship. He's now queued to collect these physics resources. The station is almost built. There it is. And then he's going to slowly wander on down over here, which is good. Now, you've got Delta Pavonis. Now, I know it looks very close to the branded space, okay, where everyone's dying and becoming crystallized. However, well, not necessarily. I mean, that can happen. We should see that some of these planets we come across do have life on them, but not just wild beasts, but intelligent life. It's just intelligent life that never made it to space yet. Now, that's known as a primitive civilization. And if there were any primitives living here, Kraukatoric will have devoured them, for sure. So, we'll have to be careful about that. But yeah, Delta Pavonis isn't actually connected via hyperlane. So, we're safe with this. As long as we have this place, we'll be alright. Now, let's head over to the science, the spaceport. Which you'll see all on its own now has 142 military might. So, if some of those early conflicts had actually sparked with the branded, our spaceports would now be defending us a little bit better. Right at the start, they're not very good, you know. People can sort of just run wild like pirates. Anyway, yeah, we're still just upgrading this to a starport. It will take about 70 days. When we do, we can get the think tank thing done. Now, in the last episode, I never really talked to you guys much about the mushroom dudes, and they do offer opportunities. So they're an enclave. There are a few of these that will spawn around the galaxy, and people who find them can communicate with them to get special things. And what they can also do is, if they are in your space, you get even more special things. So they say, did you know that this conversation is being closely monitored by entities from 7 different subspace realms? Alas, I fear that the technology to communicate with them is too far beyond the present capabilities of your civilization to do you any good. So, I don't know really what they're saying there. Are they saying that there's other forms of hyperlanes? We can get new hyperdrives as the game goes along, guys. It's very exciting. But what that basically allows us to do is get in and out of hyperlanes faster. And doesn't necessarily, you know, have us discover new ones. That's a cool part of Stellaris. I really think the devs should have done. But hey. Anyway, so we can there are a couple of these, right? We can ask to recruit their scientists, or we could like to establish a mutual think tank, which is what we'll try and do in a second. Now, let me just confirm to you guys. If we go over to our contact screen, you can get basic information about everyone you know. This is us. This is the brand, the Devouring Swarm, and we read a bit about them. They're about equivalent in fleet power to us now, which is good. That means that they might not just wage war on us straight away. We might wage war on them very soon, though. They are economically stronger than us, however. They have 173 pops, guys, over 9 worlds. They're a ravenous hive that is very scary. This government operates a single organism utterly devoted to self-propagation, with a drone population that cares for nothing beside feeding the endless hunger of the hive mind. So anyway, this the curator order, there are different kinds. These are the curator enclave, right? Sorry, there are different kinds of enclaves. These are the curators.
Construction completed.
An ancient scholarly order dedicated towards the preservation of knowledge and technology. What does that mean? They're space nerds. They're mushroom nerds. And the kind of opportunities they offer us are revolving around information. And to a certain extent, adventure as well, really. So, when I say to them, can I tell you about the mysteries of the universe? Other enclaves won't necessarily feel the same way, and they'll talk to us about different stuff. But they say here there are exceedingly powerful entities lurking within certain star systems in our galaxy. At great cost in both lives and resources, curator agents have painstakingly gathered knowledge that should make these beings easier to deal with the next time you encounter them. So what are we talking about? Well, like that Tiyanki matriarch, right? That killed our scientists at the end of the last episode. So check it out. Tell us about the Void Spawn. Tell us about the Tiyanki matriarch. These are, things they've mentioned in conversation. So they say, magnificent, is she not? A wizened old matriarch, her hide bleached and hardened by the eons, her tentacles capable of snapping the hulls of battleships like oyster shells. Decades ago, sorry, my throat, Jesus, drinking this coffee might help. Decades ago, our researchers heard rumors of a captain sworn to hunt the matriarch to the ends of the ends of the galaxy. However, considering her continued existence, we cannot imagine he met with success. So I think they're doing like a Moby Dick thing here. Remember when we saw it? We found like there was one torpedo lodged in it or something. Is that what they're doing? So we can say, why is the matriarch so much larger than other Tiyanki? Her incredible size is an anomaly, to be sure. We believe the matriarch is a wanderer from another galaxy in deep space, where a species of Tiyanki grew far greater in size and strength, diverged evolutionary from the Tiyanki found in our own galaxy. Which, by the way, as I mentioned, vanilla Stellaris, you used to find lots of Tiyanki around. You used to fight them and research them and get ship components from them, and the devs have not really done anything impressive on that front, and they're like bugged. They're genuinely, the vanilla game right now, well, when I say vanilla, I mean the most recent patch of the game right now, they're bugged and they don't really move, so we found the matriarch first, which is kind of crazy. Of course, it's also possible that the matriarch is simply suffering from an advanced form of gigantism, though this would fail to explain her extended lifespan. What do you know about the captain hunting the matriarch? Very little. It's quite possible the captain chased the matriarch here from another galaxy, though why one would be foolish enough to challenge a creature capable of destroying entire fleets with just one vessel is beyond us. How would our current fleet fare against it? Remember, we just see a skull, so we don't know. And we'll never really know, but these guys can help us. Poorly. Very poorly. Wait a second, you're not actually thinking of, my goodness, with the ships you have, it would be a slaughter. So, yeah, not a good idea, really. But that's just one thing we can ask them about. There are services we can purchase as well. And I know you guys are going to be curious about this thing, the Void Spawn. And you can even say, tell us something we don't know. This will cost us money. This will cost us 300 energy credits. That's most of our cash if we do that. It will make them like us more because we're doing business with them. And if they start to like us a lot, they'll offer us new things. Remember those things that were locked out before? These down here about recruiting the scientists. We'll leave that for now. Here's a really good one. Can you aid us in our research? Of course, we're prepared to offer you limited access to our extensive databanks for a period of 10 standard years. This, and a standard year, you guys might just take for granted. But remember, we are on the galactic stage here. So what is a year? You've got to find something, some meaning. And these guys are, they're ancient and they're familiar with all the old civilizations that rose and have now fallen. We're kind of in a new era of the galaxy here where there's loads of newcomers in the stage, including us. But they would be familiar with, if you've got loads of alien species communicating on all these different homeworlds that have different orbits and different spins, how do you decide? How do you find some basis of translation and communication? And that's really what we could have done if we'd gone to the homeworld of the brand. It turns out they have no communication anyway, really, of a high level, or diplomacy anyway, so it doesn't matter. But maybe we'll find a new empire soon and we'll have to do these things. Anyway, they have this idea of 10 standard years, and it basically just means 10 years, okay? as far as the game's concerned. We require compensation for the service, naturally, but I think you'll find that our prices are very reasonable. Now, if you have a look, it costs us 1,000 energy credits. I thought that was 10,000 for a second. Gives them 20 opinion, twice as good as the other one, which is really nice. But it would give us global research speed. It's basically like how, you know how some of our scientists are sparks of genius, have the spark of genius? It's basically like every single one of our researchers gets the spark of genius, and it stacks on top of their own spark of genius. So just 10% modifier for research is really good. If you remember over at our Unity, we had an Ascension perk we could have picked, right? One of these. These are like really big build-defining options. And the main thing about this is it gives you the same thing, 10% research speed. So you could have done both if you really wanted. Or I could have done both. We could have done both, but I'm not choosing to do that. All right, so we spent a long time with them near this pulsar. We now claim this space. That's good. Let's get the research station going. These guys can't really do anything just yet. We will move them further out, probably over to Delta Pavonis. In fact, we can just queue up the construction of that straight away. Let's have a look at this science ship who found an anomaly, it seems. Where was the anomaly? Okay, it's over at this thing here. And it says there's an alien machine here on the surface of WX1209. Sorry, let's actually zoom in on it. I know it doesn't look the greatest, but there you go. On the surface sits what appears to be a large machine of unknown origin and unknown purpose. Right, well, let's just get our science ship that's local to research this, into the orbit and research this. It's a pretty big system. I remember when we first came here. You can pay a lot of attention to this stuff. I think a lot of players start to start ignoring specific system views. When your empire gets big enough, you know, how each individual star system starts to become less and less interesting to you. But at this point in the game, it can be really important to actually keep a track on it. And especially if you get into early conflicts, you know, if someone's goal is to take out an orbital station and you're defending it, then, you know, fighting specifically at this gas giant is a big deal, you know. And again, that's not really what the vanilla game's good for anymore, but hey, I hope one day they do patches, or I can keep working on my mod that basically emphasizes those areas of the game. I'll probably do it behind the scenes about that kind of stuff for you guys at some point, if you're really interested, once we're done with the 300-year war here. Right, so, yeah, we've now got this, and we can start our arcology an arcology project is when you're creating a megalopolis. But here's what we're going to do, okay? This planet is played host to a mammalian society of compulsive gatherers and hoarders. Remember we read this before? Did we read all of this? The tiny rat-like inhabitants of this planet did not produce any goods of their own, but were proficient spacefarers who likely pilfered the things they needed, as well as a whole host of other things they didn't need from other alien cultures. Remember this? Okay, so here's what we do. We get our scientist in orbit, and we hit excavate site. Now, what will happen is we keep, like, cycling through this every 90 days, okay? So we work for 90 days, archaeological sites are excavated in phases, and at the end of the phase, a progress roll is made. So basically, we will work for 90 days, and at the end of the 90 days, we will have had a chance to have made a breakthrough, which they'll report to us. So our chance for a breakthrough right now is less than 30%. Well, 30% lower than it otherwise should be. It reflects out the chance for our scientists making a breakthrough at the current site. Every time a phase ends, a D10 gets rolled. The results of the dice is added with a skill bonus and any clues we've found. So the skill of this scientist, he's a new hire. We just got him. He's only skill 1, so he's not going to be very good at this. Thankfully, though, the difficulty of this site is only difficulty 1, okay, right now. And each time you make a breakthrough, basically another chapter of the story will unfold. And you can get like a whole kind of storyline going through here that you get to make decisions and branches about. And sometimes it will go better, sometimes it will go worse. And yeah, you collect clues along the way. We'll just see how this goes, okay? So yeah, this is the excavation we're working on. And we will find out the secret of the rubricator, remember? Which is what this was all originally about, some kind of crazy device that could melt ships, and aliens really wanted. And now we found this relic world, and he is going to be working away. So good luck to you there, Christian. And that's going to be right near our home system as well, which is pretty interesting, I think. Okay, so the starbase is built up. Now, this is the one next to the curators. So, what do we do here? I think we have to talk to them.
Ship upgrades applied.
Okay, we get another applied upgrade. That's good. So when we talk to them, we can say we would like to establish a think tank. Oh, I need opinion 50? I don't have the money. Well, okay, hold on. We got 3,000 food now. I will sell 2,000 of it, which will give us $1,000. And with $1,000, we can purchase this, the Curator Insight. They say a wise choice. And now we can check our contacts panel. And they like us 21. Now, the fact that they like us 21 will probably keep going up because we own a starbase near them. Like, we're kind of collaborating with them. We're in close proximity. So we're learning each other's ways, and they are coming around to enjoy us, okay? We're not attacking them or doing anything horrible.
Completed.
So we could try and strike another deal with them by saying, can you tell us the mysteries of the universe? Can you tell me something I don't know? And they say, this might interest you. We have marked a star system in your situation log. Cool. So let's see what they've done there. So we go to our situation log. This is the anomaly we were looking at. Wow, what is this? The Favalian and aliens? Where did we find these? Oh, were they the Tianki maybe? Let's just research that. Let's see where they were. I'm not sure who those were when we came across them. They might just be living on some small planet, or it might have been the Tianki matriarch. We'll see that. That's going to be done in 8 months. That's not a big deal. Mysteries of the universe. Okay, so we've got this new section here. You can see our ship in orbit of the Enclave up there, which I really like. Sorry, just drinking some coffee. It's the curator's business to know things. We may buy information, but it's up to us to make something of their knowledge. So we can click track on map. Wow, it's there? Hold on, did that just appear? I think that system just appeared. No, this is that black hole, isn't it? This was the black hole that we were going to go to, but we died en route. Yeah, I remember. I thought we were, like, locked off. I thought we were not just locked off because we're in this little backwater. I can't believe, guys. I really can't believe that this isn't connected. Someone else will have got to Alpha Centauri by the time we get there. This is the quest for Alpha Centauri here. The closest star to us, and we can't even get to it, or in theory should be. I don't know, is Bernard's star meant to be closer? Anyway, I thought we were locked off, even here, and our route was going to have to be up around here, and Christ knows what's going on. I mean, geez, the galaxy's huge, so... But, I guess we can go that way. And look, this scientist will be done soon. We'll probably send, Takeru to go deal with that. Anyway, they're telling me something special has happened at this black hole. So there are black holes all over. You can kind of probably... Yeah, here's another one, for example. Right? There's another black hole over there. They don't have to have special things in them, but oftentimes they do. That could be really interesting. I can't believe they just marked that for me. So yeah, anyway, he's working on this anomaly at this asteroid first. So let's just see what he's got as we move forward. I'll tell you what, when I'm playing this game with you guys, I play really slow. It's because we've got so much to talk about. When you're playing on your own, you can just keep it on like fast and you just consider a thing and move on, but you know. All right, okay, so we get to pick a different tree now, a second tree. And I kind of want to say expansion, because what I'd like to do is make a massive grab at all this space. I'd like to send all of our construction ships out here and just bang, 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 grab them all. But we might have a problem with that. Now, I'll explain to you guys Empire Sprawl, okay? Remember, stuff is starting to cost a little bit more. Like, for example, if I try and get a leader and we try and recruit a general, they used to only cost 200. Now they cost 224, and it says Empire Sprawl plus 12%. Well, what does that mean? Well, you can see that some of these icons over on the right. These are not currencies anymore after you're done with these two. These are your researches. These are the special... strategic resources that you might be able to find around. We've got 0 of them, obviously, but we've discovered a few. Anyway, so now you get, like, informational stuff. So your naval capacity, we can only have 30 ships. When I say we can only have 30 ships, you can actually have more than 30 ships. The thing is, if you go over... We'll watch this guy work as we do this. If you go over 30 ships, you just get penalties. So you can work outside of your means. That's not a big deal. You could do that if you'd like. And that's true everywhere here. Star bases. We can now have 4. Colonizing new systems gives us a higher capacity, so check it out. We've got now 4. We can construct another one. That's nice. This is our population. 35 people live in our empire, or 35 pops. We have 4 worlds. We have 11 systems. And then finally, you've got Empire Sprawl. So Empire Sprawl is a measure of the territorial expanse of your empire in the form of controlled systems, number of colonies, and the districts you have. A high Empire Sprawl is a strain on your empire's administrative capacity and will increase the cost of technologies, traditions, leaders, edicts, and campaigns. So basically, we're getting big now, and our administration hasn't grown to match. So new technologies and things will allow us to do that, and some traditions will allow us to, ease the burden there. But it means things are getting pricier. And if I go for a massive land grab, the Empire Sprawl might become a real problem. Okay, so basically it's factoring in all of our new populations and how far away and how snake-like we've gone and so on. So this is a really important thing to look at. It's very possible to create other spacefaring empires that are really bureaucratic and really good at administration. And those kinds of empires can do some really dodgy, ridiculous stuff with their territory. They can, leap multiple systems away, claim it, and then still have it work, even though it's completely disconnected from their current empire. Do you remember that wormhole we found? You could go through a wormhole, leap multiple systems away, you could be over here, and now start claiming this as Earth, right? And even cooler, if you do that, if the brand then come and destroy us, we could rebuild from over there, right? That's another cool thing that I've always liked, but hey. Oh, what is this? Oh, this is the machine. This is literally what we're looking at. Okay, the alien machine. Further scans suggest that the machine is still operational, though its purpose remains entirely unclear. Science officer Takeru Yamatsu has never seen anything like it. Some of its materials look familiar, but most are strange and utterly alien as the design of its components. The machine has what appears to be a console, with one item in particular standing out, a large crooked lever of unknown material. So, okay. We can be curious and go for this. Sometimes it's bad to be curious. So, we could just take it apart, get some minerals, get some physics. That's a lot of physics research straight away. We could just learn about it. Or we can pull the lever and see what it does. I'm going to pull the lever. I don't remember what happens here. I think this is a... Oh, here we go. So an energy spike. As our scientists pulled the lever, the machine emitted a huge blast of energy that multiplied in shockwaves, twisting and rippling through the void, tearing open a wormhole in Neshmet. This is not Neshmet. Neshmet is the relic world, isn't it? After the residuous energy diffused the wormhole and the immediate area around it settled and now appear to be stable enough for safe passage. As for what awaits us on the other side, our scientists are not so sure. The machine itself has since returned to its inactive state and no longer gives off any anomalous readings. How strange. Now take it apart? Or we can research the machine. So, okay. Researching the machine, what this will do is it will mean that we get 7 physics research every month forever from this. As long as the local starbase doesn't get destroyed. We haven't even built the starbase, obviously, yet. Or, someone just comes and destroys it. Pirates come and attack or something. That's pretty good. Or we can give our leader experience. Wait, Dolores Mwanga. She's not in this, is she? No. So our leader gets experience. We get a one-time lump sum of physics. And we get minerals. I kind of just want to do this. I mean, how safe is this space? How likely are we to lose this system? It all depends. It depends on the brand, really. It depends on the brand. Do I think I can defend this place? Actually, I think probably yeah. I think they'll be stupid and they'll attack this station as well. Hold on, weren't these guys at 7k before? They've got so much hull strength, it's insane. All right, yeah, let's permanently get it. Boom, 7. So what we have to do is actually collect that now, though. There's some trade value here as well. This is a cool system. Are we done with that now, by the way? Is he finished? He is finished with that job. Now let's go to the black hole. Oh, there's so much going on. And hold on, Neshmet. There's a wormhole here. This is wild. This is super cool. This is the kind of thing that Stellaris can do where this system we didn't even know about this at the start. And now, because of something else somewhere else, that might be entirely unrelated to this. I mean, you might think that it is. We can maybe have some headcanon for that. We've created a wormhole here now as well. I don't know where that goes, but I can tell you that sometimes wormholes can take you to places off the hyperlane network. Okay, just because like for example, this star here, right? I'm assuming there's a nebula here. I'm assuming somewhere up north there's a way around, probably. But there's also a chance that there's no hyperlane there at all, and the only way to get to that isolated system is via wormhole. And there one is. So anyway, yeah, let's send our science ship along, and back to our traditions. Let's speed the game up a little bit here. What do we pick? Well, expansion. This will increase our colony development speed, which is nice because we are doing multiple colonies straight away to adopt that. Star bases get cheaper. New colonies start with more pops. Screw it. Let's do expansion. This is like the other nice early game one as far as I'm concerned. So our new colonies, they're almost done anyway. Nova Earth and Procyon Prime. I don't like this. Let's name this something else. Let's name this Brand's Resistance, because I will not be intimidated by the brand. Okay, so we now got Earth, all you can eat, and Nova Earth is about to finish. And the Brand's Resistance is about to finish. Now, we could try and resettle people, except that we changed that policy to please our factions. Do you remember that? Okay, research station, Zero-G Labs. Very nice. A lot of critical research can only be done in a zero-gravity environment, which these specialized laboratories are eminently designed for. So nice. We can grab that. New technology. We could go research, 5% forever. By the way, talking to the curators might add new text to our stuff. That could just appear now. So watch out for that. We might have to do specific things for it. I think I'll go for the global research speed bonus. And you see how our percentages are going up. This is good because the prices of the more tricky technologies will also go up. So our percentages can go up, our actual orbital stations can go up, and the prices will keep going up too. So yeah, we were looking at this, at the pulsar. I now don't know what I really want to do with this, since we can't build the special building here. The Curator think tank. So, in the meantime, let's just put a gun or a missile battery. Now, remember, we're at a pulsar. So, oh, wow, let's read this. Pulsars are highly magnetized neutron stars. Hey, I was right. A pulsar is just a type of neutron star that emit beams of electromagnetic radiation. As the star rotates, the radiation beam is only visible when it's pointing directly at the observer. This results in a very precise interval of pulses, which sometimes is so exact that it can be used to measure the passage of time with extreme accuracy. The radiation emitted by pulsars interferes with deflector technology, rendering ship and station shields inoperable. So check this out. Shield nullification of 0, right? So we don't want to put shields on this. You know, if we want to build a defense platform, I haven't shown you any of these yet. They're basically like giant corvettes. I mean, they're better than corvettes, way better. But they can't move, and they can only be near the starbase, and you actually see them, right? So they're extra defenses, okay? You can see there it says FTL capability. No, we cannot go into... We can't move them at all. You'll also see that they suppress piracy. We'll deal with that later. But so no one has any shields. So missiles... I guess these are both exactly as good as one another. Ship hull points plus 10%, armor hull points plus 10%. This is just going to add weapon slots. I guess the kind of weapons we put in there doesn't matter. So let's just put one gun, one missile. What's the difference between a gun battery and a missile battery then? 2 missile weapon slots or 2 medium-sized weapon slots? So let's get rid of... Let's not do the missile battery. Let's just do 2 gun batteries, I guess. And we'll see. As for the building and the Curator think tank, we'll leave that for now. Instead, let's put a communications jammer on here. These powerful jammers interfere with enemy ship-to-ship communications, making it difficult to coordinate fleet movements. So this lowers their movement speed, and it lowers their chance to be able to disengage from combat. So that's going to be pretty nice. The disruption field doesn't really matter since they don't have shields anyway, and that does something for shields. So, it's kind of cool. We're prepping for war here. I could have put a crew quarters on here, by the way. And that would have allowed us to dock our fleets here. Actually, let's do that. Let's not do the communications jammer. Let's put a crew quarters, and then let's bring both of our fleets here. There's no shipyard here, but we can just keep them here comfortably, right? So look at that. We have 486 military strength here before the gun batteries go on, or before we build any defense platforms. I'll put a defense platform there for you guys as well. Okay, so know that Earth just got founded. That's very good. We don't have to do anything with it just yet. There's only one population there. Those are the people from the Ark ship. They're currently just costing us stuff. They do produce a little bit of food, but hey, we won't worry about that. And another colony is going to be made in a second as well here, which is nice. It's a shame because if we had gone expansion first, we would have got double population on those planets instantly. It would have been pretty good, right? Okay, so there's so many resources here. Look at this. Very, very, very cool area of the world. Galaxy. Okay, this construction ship's not doing anything anymore because he's finished that. Let's just bring him over to Azalish in preparation. I mean, that is going to take so long. It might be better to build a new one, but they're very expensive and they take a long time to build too. Okay, so here's a funny thing. This relic world, can we colonize it while there's archaeology going on there? Let's call it Broken Gods or something. I think we can. All right, let's colonize this world. It might be a really stupid idea to colonize this world while we don't really know what was going on.
The special project has
concluded. Have it. Okay, so check it out. The first 90 days, he didn't get any clues, didn't figure anything out. That was basically it. But this one, he got a clue. So you never know. And now because he has a clue, clues represent how much information you've uncovered in relation to a chapter in an archaeological excavation. Our chance of making a breakthrough is higher now. You see? So we'll gather the clues, and eventually he'll report back after that 3-month interval, and he'll say something. Oh, okay. So the here we go. We've learned about the Tianki now. Cool. I guess we did find a Tianki. Maybe not the matriarch. Or maybe when we found the matriarch, we found everything at once. I think I did this slightly out of order, where basically, normally you would find a regular Tianki, and then you'd research it, and then you'd find the curators, and then they would tell you about the matriarch and all that kind of stuff. Because I found that this is quite a special thing, by the way. There is only one of these in the whole galaxy. I found this, and it really kind of weirded a lot of the game out here. It did a lot of strange stuff. But so basically, we have now researched the Tianki, so let's hear about them. We've only ever seen a matriarch, which isn't even a normal one, but fine. The spaceborne life forms, which the human head of society research has come to refer to as Tianki, are docile creatures capable of accessing some lower dimension of subspace. They roam from system to system with remarkable ease. They graze on gases common to the upper layers of many gas giants. It is highly unlikely, to say the least, that this is their only food source, but intake of other nutrients has yet to be observed. They will rarely, if ever, attack, even when provoked, and they can safely be ignored. Right. Again, I wish we'd found an actual Tianki here. They're just like wandering little creatures. One of the mods I put on was a mod that said it had fixed the issue, and it clearly hasn't. So anyway, there you go. And this has actually given us some new research. Check that out. We've learned about a new type of technology called frequency tuning. And can you see that it says option gained? And we've started with 10%. Well, what that means is if I go to my research here, and we have a quick peek at other society research, I'm definitely not going to turn off the food processing facilities. With 765 out of 1,942 in the way. But look at this. There's now this down here. It's glowing orange. It will never go away. So we've got the 3 original cards, one from the technology traditions, the discovery traditions, and then finally down here there's this that will not go away until we learn it. And what is this? Well, it's an energy siphon. Adapting the Tianki method of siphoning energy from gaseous matter, it is possible to construct weapons draining energy from enemy ships. So we can tech our stuff out with this if we'd like. Modeled after a peculiar biological process observed in the Tianki, the energy siphon excites the energy transfer of medium-targeted enemy vessels. Pretty cool, and it's just like a small upgrade you can put in a ship. I like this, I will do it, but first let's finish this, and so we are food rich but alloy poor. That's what we'll become. Okay, so all of our ships are doing things. That's going fine. Let's watch this guy move on through. So we are sending a construction ship to this area of the galaxy right now, and we'll see what else we can grab.
Been colonized.
So there's another colony. So now that we've got 4 colonies, let's have a look at our empire sprawl. Are we going over our limit? It doesn't look like it. It looks like we're okay, maybe? I don't know, actually. Let's see. If we try and hire someone. No, we definitely do still have a bit of an Empire Sprawl penalty. Hopefully expansion stuff will help us there. You guys still haven't seen anything about war or army, ground-based combat, basically, have you? Which I think might be cool to talk about. So, what we can do, we got money at the moment. What we can do is we can go to our leaders, and you see that you can get generals. Generals have different perks, ages, all that stuff. They're hired in the same way. This guy, but the perks they get are different, right? Each type of leader can do different things. Our governor's not doing anything. We'll fix that in a second. So this guy's a glory seeker. Army morale plus 10%, army damage plus 5. The leader is always in the thick of it, bucking the spirits of the troops by leading from the front despite the risks involved. So we'll grab that, okay? And basically what armies do... Let's go to Earth for a quick second, and I'll pause because I do want to see that black hole. Is they protect planets once they've been invaded. Here's the way that the game works. Your navies clash and shoot at each other in space. If a navy can get to a planet, it can bombard it from orbit. And it will start destroying the cities and it will start killing people. There are different ways to bombard. You can be nice about how you bombard. You can target only military institutions on a planet, right? And you can try to just bombard away armies or whatever. Or you can be completely indiscriminate, horrible aliens that just blow up planets, right? And you just destroy everything. You kill innocent people. The reason why you might not like to do that is presumably if you're attacking a world, it's because you want to conquer it. And if you've just destroyed everyone there, then it's not going to be of much value to you later, right? So how long you choose to bombard from orbit is like really important. But eventually you're going to soften them up by bombarding them and you can throw armies down. You don't even have to soften them up. So this is the armies tab. And basically on the planet right now, there are 2 global human armies defending it. There's the first planetary guard and there's the second planetary guard. And if I click, you'll see that these are defense armies, which are very powerful, but you can't take them off the planet. They're regular armies made up of humans. They do a certain amount of damage. They do a thing called morale damage. There's a thing called collateral damage, and then they have health and morale, okay? And these are free for us as well. They don't upkeep us. So here's the idea. When I land armies against Earth, they will fight the planetary guard. And they'll try to kill them. So they'll just fight each other. And, you know, the guys will do damage to these guys. And there's a damage range. And, you know, if they were 2 exactly equal armies fighting 2 exactly equal armies, you don't really know who's going to win. As they fight each other as well, there's morale. So you can get certain armies that are not very strong fighters, but they're really good at being terrifying and, like, barbaric and horrible. And they'll kill the morale of the defenders. And if you can kill someone's morale, it's like a second health bar. You've got morale, health, and regular health. If you take out someone's morale, then they incur massive penalties. They don't do much damage anymore. They don't want to fight. And then you can win through that. So you can have different kinds of armies. Ones that try to break people's spirit, or ones that just try to break people, or ones that do both. Then finally, there is the idea of collateral damage. Now, defense armies are trying to defend Earth. So they're not destroying the generator districts and the mining districts and the alloy foundries and all that kind of stuff. They're not doing any of that. But when you get invasion armies, you can have invasion armies that aren't very good fighters and aren't very like intimidating or good at morale, but they do just wreck everything. They're just there to destroy the planet. And that's called collateral damage. So there's all different kinds of things you can do with armies. Armies also get experience as they fight and they can level up. Just like ships, I haven't been in any combat, so I haven't shown you this yet. But every single ship in our fleet has its own little experience bar, and it can level up. You can have it to be your game if you like, to take like this one Corvette, this Buzzard class Corvette, and level it the hell up so that it's super strong. But it takes a long time, and you've got to like really protect it so that it won't die. It's a mechanic in the game that, again, people don't often see. I did actually dabble with a bit of a mod to do this. Basically, armies usually would just die really quickly, and you don't get to see them level up. But you're going to see in this playthrough, when armies fight each other, they'll go at it for a long time. And they'll be able to get levels and stuff, which is good. Anyway, so that's kind of the gist of it, really. Once the armies have landed, and armies get landed by a whole other type of ship, by the way, called a transport fleet, so your navies defend the transport fleets and fight each other in space. If the transport fleet can get to the planet, it will land. The navies can bombard to help out their armies, and then you're trying to conquer. If you get occupied, then you can't get any resources from the planet anymore. They might claim it for their empire. There's all kinds of stuff that could happen. That can all happen before you've even established communications, by the way. So we might find another alien race that does that to us. We have to be careful about this. Anyway, what I want to do for now is assign a general. Every army can have its own general. And every assault army can have one. So let's get a general, this Glory Seeker, who will defend with these guys. So basically, everyone under his command, that is the Planetary Guard armies, well, they get more morale and they get more damage. Okay, because we made him a Glory Seeker. And equally, we can recruit other armies that will... why can't I recruit any armies? That's bizarre. Usually, I think you can click that you can recruit armies. Maybe... I mean, we're at the Empire capital. We'll deal with that later. I'm not sure what exactly that is. But, yeah, you can recruit new armies, which will go and attack people. Okay? Maybe I can't because I'm peaceful or something? I'm not sure about that. Anyway, let's have a look at the black hole, which we've been discussing a lot. I kind of wanted to do the army explanation once we were actually being invaded, but it doesn't look like we will be now because we've managed to outpace the Brand. I mean, the Brand are just one. There are a lot of very, very scary other dragons out there, and you never know how they are dominating right now, because we're 17 years in. I can tell you for a fact, guys, that all over the galaxy right now, different civilizations are meeting each other and going to war with one another, and the dragons will be winning, like the vast majority of them. As per our president's mandate, additional mining stations were constructed. Very cool. Glad to hear that. So when we get over to this hyperlane, this is where the black hole is going to be. Let's have a quick look at this construction ship. Let's move him in preparation over there. Let's see what we've got over here. As for our colonies, we'll get little notifications in the outliner when there's really things to do. But we can make a decision here to encourage planetary growth with all of our extra food on the low grav place at Nova Earth. And we can do it here with all of our food as well. So, just extra growth there. Here we go, this is it.
Our science ship is under fire.
Oh my god, not again. Are you serious? Oh my... Okay, this is the... I didn't think this would be this. I thought this would be something else. Alright, remember the Enclave told us about the Void Spawn? Oh dear. Yeah. That's what we've got here. I'll talk to you guys about that one next time.